Welcome back. So today we're going to talk about what I regard as potentially the most important skill you can have as a motorcyclist. Question is, what is that skill? Could it, for instance, be cornering, effective use of the brakes, acceleration, overtaking? What is the key skill we should all develop? In my opinion, the key skill that we should all develop is how to acquire information. Where do we get that information from and how do we use it? So, information from what's in front of us, indeed what's behind us, or from what's around us, is key to making decisions about our speed, cornering, braking. Absolutely everything we do on the bike depends on the acquisition of information. And that information can come in a number of ways. Obviously from what we see, but also from what we can hear, even from what we can smell. It's quite often times when we could smell diesel before we could see it. We might even smell grass cutting before we find the tractor just around the corner is cutting the verge. As a motorcyclist, we should be really tuned in to all of these senses and how the world is affecting these senses. So let's just have a quick ride and talk about how I use, or how I acquire and how I use that information. I like to think of information and the acquisition of information is three parts. There's the information just in front of me. So that's usually in that piece of road that I see is clear, or that I would have to stop in. So that's like the immediate information where if I ignore something, it can potentially hurt me and hurt me straight away. Then there's the intermediate information. That's the next little piece down the road. It's looking a couple of 100 meters down the road, seeing, for instance, the road signs here, seeing the de-restricted sign that's coming up, or indeed seeing this vehicle that you'll now see come around the corner. Because I was looking up the road as far as I could see. So those are the first two. The second one is what I would call environmental awareness, spatial awareness. Pilots know all about it. They're working in 3 dimensions, up, down and around. We're kind of just dealing in 2 dimensions. So that spatial awareness is about not just acquiring what's in front of us, not just acquiring what we can see up the road, but everywhere else. So, across hedges, our mirrors will tell us, is it safe to hit the brakes? Is there somebody right up our tail that might run into us? It'll give us information about how we need to judge our next actions. So we'll be able to see across hedges when we see a junction coming. Potentially, are there vehicles that might come up to that junction? We can see heavy goods vehicles a lot further ahead. We could see where the road goes from the line of trees or from the line of telegraph poles. All these things give us a greater view of the world so that we can build on our riding plan. A great way to develop this acquisition of information is to go out and talk to yourself when you're riding. Doesn't mean you're going crazy. I don't expect you're going to get any answers, but you should talk to yourself about the information you're acquiring. And if you are not talking continuously and almost boring yourself, then I would say you're not seeing and taking on board enough information. There should be a constant stream of chitter-chatter to yourself. It should be about applying the power. It should be about looking down the road, seeing potholes, looking across hedges, seeing road signs. Don't do it in your head, do it out loud. Because if you're doing it in your head, you're not really doing it, you're not conscious of doing it. The next thing is actually looking. Now, you'll see from my video that I move my head to look in the mirrors. I also do it when I'm looking across hedges down the road. It's because it's a well-known fact that if we just use our eyes to glance, the eyes don't give the full picture. The eyes actually take part of the picture, but in the movement there are little moments when there are blanks that goes look blank, look blank, look blank, and the rest of it is all just filled in by the mind. But if you move the head, you're much more likely to build up a complete picture of what it is you want to see. So try and get used to moving the head to the mirrors, up the road, across the hedges. I believe it's what fighter pilots are taught, to actually scan by moving the head. That way they don't miss the little bits that are in the blank spots from just moving their eyes. The next thing is scanning up and down the road. Look up the road, but then come back. Always change from as far as you can see down the road and then come back. But don't focus just on the road ahead. You should be looking past that. That'll take the bike where you want to go. You'll have seen, as I'm chatting here, my head is on the move all the time. If, for instance, coming over the brow of the hill, I'm scanning as far ahead as I can, which is the brow of this hill under the oak tree. Checking my mirrors, there's nothing behind me. Positioning for the corner so I get an early view. And now the road is open to me, but now I'm looking across to my left because I can just about see over the hedge tops to see if there are any vehicles coming, which allows me then to straighten out that piece of road. Coming back to the near side now, there's a junction on the right indicated by that road sign. And don't forget road signs. They're such a great source of information for you. And that's not just the ones on posts. It's the ones on the road, it's the ones in the hedges. They're put up to give you information and everybody who uses the roads information to make the roads safer. The more signage, the more writing there is on the road, the more there's a need for you to take on board that information, because potentially something happened there before, and the road designers don't want the same thing to happen again. So I'm now coming up to another left. I can see in the distance there's a skip lorry. There's nothing coming at the moment, but at the speed I'm at I don't need to wrong side the road. I had a quick glance over to the left and there was nothing coming through. I'm back to the near side with a mirror check. Junction on the left, oncoming traffic either side of the road. Junction is empty. As I come round, the road's going to open up here. Just another bend, and there I can see the road is clear, so we can just straighten out this bend. Going to go out to the middle of the road now for a better view around this left-hand bend. Got a warning sign of a crossroads, so I'm going to be aware of that straight away. Checking the crossroads. I can see the road coming from the left, nothing there, so I'm concentrating now on the right, nothing there, road is clear. Vehicle in the hedge parked up with our amber lights. He's going to displace traffic to my side, so I'm taking a near side position. Still catching the skip lorry ahead. There he's just come into view. He's going round to the left. It's great to have something like a lorry in front of you because he's kind of clearing the road from for wide vehicles that might be coming your way. I've just hit his brakes, so he's seen something larger. Road surface here is terrible. I know that because I suddenly saw a load of dust being chucked up by the skip lorry in front. So we've got a give way sign coming up ahead, and I'm going to be turning right. Through the broken hedge, I'm getting an idea of how much traffic might be coming my way. Road there was terrible and caused the bike to worse than tramline. Already taken information about what's on the road with me, because I'm going to have to do an overtake of that farm vehicle soon. There's a white vehicle following him very close behind. He doesn't know the road because he's just looked when he's approaching this tight right hand bend, reduced speed, solid white lines preventing overtaking. Double chevron boards telling us it's a sharp bend, and double chevron boards coming up telling us it's a sharp to the left. I'm positioning wide as I can so that I try and get an inside view to see when the road might be clear. There's another piece of straight to a right hand bend, still protected by double solid white lines. The van's following very close behind, so he's got a poor view. We're now going around a right hand bend. I'm positioning near side of a view oncoming cyclist. There's crossroads coming up. Farm vehicles don't travel very far. Maybe he's going to turn down here. Can't see his indicator, but they are both now turning. Behind me is two vehicles, a heavy goods vehicle. He's closing, but we should be gone by the time he gets up to us. And then we're going to apply power and head off down this nice straight piece of road. In the mirror I can see the heavy goods vehicle turned off, not that he was going to keep up with me. On the road ahead on the left I can see possibly people on the pavement. Is there some work going on? Yep, somebody walking here. Check in these places like car sales, a place on the side of the road. You never know when somebody's just going to nip out of there in a car they're not familiar with. So we've got a bend going round to the left, solid white line on my side. We've got a junction coming up on the left. Road is clear. You can see the junction and there's nothing in it, but I'm giving it a wide view. And I check down that road to see if I can see anything coming along quickly. That's the sort of information I take on board, or try and take on board and react to on a country road. An urban situation is very different. You know, there's much more information. The density information is much higher. So you really need to be taking that information in all the time.